In 1930, FIFA made the decision to stage their own international tournament. The 1932 Summer Olympics, held in Los Angeles, did not plan to include football as part of the program because the sport was not popular in the United States. FIFA and the IOC also disagreed over the status of amateur players, and so football was dropped from the games. 14. FIFA President Jules Rimet thus set about organizing the inaugural World Cup tournament. With Uruguay now a two-time official world champion and due to celebrate its centenary of independence in 1930, FIFA named Uruguay as the host country. The national associations of selected nations were invited to send a team, but the choice of Uruguay as a venue for the competition meant a long and costly trip across the Atlantic Ocean for the European sides at the time of an economic crisis. No European country pledged to send a team until 2 months before the start of the competition. 15. Rimet eventually persuaded teams from Belgium, France, Romania, Hungary and Yugoslavia to make the trip. 16. In total, 13 nations took part, 7 from South America, 4 from Europe, and 2 from North America. The first 2 World Cup matches took place simultaneously and were won by France and the United States, who beat Mexico 4-1 and Belgium 3-0, respectively. The first goal in World Cup history was scored by Lucien Laurent of France. 4 days later, the first World Cup hat-trick was achieved by Bert Patenaude of the US in the Americans' 3-0 win against Paraguay. In the final, Uruguay defeated Argentina 4-2 in front of a crowd of 93,000 people in Montevideo to become the first nation to win a World Cup. 17. The 1934 World Cup was hosted by Italy and was the first World Cup to include a qualification stage. 16 teams qualified for the tournament, a number which would be retained until the expansion of the finals tournament in 1982. Uruguay, the title holders from 1930, still upset about the poor European attendance at their World Cup in 1930, boycotted the 1934 World Cup. Bolivia and Paraguay were also absent, allowing Argentina and Brazil to progress to the finals in Italy without having to play any qualifying matches. Egypt became the first African team to compete, but lost to Hungary in the first round. Italy won the tournament, becoming the first European team to do so. The 1938 World Cup competition was also held in Europe, in France, much to the consternation of many South Americans, with Uruguay and Argentina boycotting. For the first time, the title holders and the host country were given automatic qualifications. Following a playoff match against Latvia, Austria had officially qualified for the final round, but because of the Anschluss in April 1938 with Germany, the Austrian national team withdrew, with some Austrian players being added to the German squad, which was eliminated in the first round. Austria's place was offered to England, but they declined. This left the finals with 15 nations competing. France hosted, but for the first time the hosts did not win the competition, as Italy retained their title, beating Hungary in the final. Polish striker Ernest Wilimowski became the first player to score 4 goals in a World Cup game during Poland's 6-5 loss against Brazil. His record was later equaled by other players, but was not bettered until 56 years later in the 1994 World Cup. International football before 1930. The first official international football match was played in 1872 in Glasgow between Scotland and England, 1, although at this stage the sport was rarely played outside Great Britain. At the end of the 19th century, games that were considered the Football World Championship were meetings between leading English and Scottish clubs, like the 1895 game between Sunderland AFC and the Heart of Midlothian FC, which Sunderland won 2-3-4-5-6. By the 20th century, football had gained ground all around the world and national football associations were being founded. The first official international match outside the British Isles was played between Uruguay and Argentina in Montevideo in July 1902. 7. The Fédération Internationale de Football Association, FIFA, was founded in Paris on May 22, 1904, comprising football associations from France, Belgium, the preceding two teams having played their first national against each other earlier in the month, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland, with Germany pledging to join. 8. As football began to increase in popularity, it was contested as an IOC recognized Olympic sport at the 1900 and 1904 Summer Olympics, as well as at the 1906 Intercalated Games, before becoming an official FIFA-supervised Olympic competition at the 1908 Summer Olympics. 9. Organized by England's Football Association, the event was for amateur players only and was regarded suspiciously as a show rather than a competition. The England national amateur football team won the event in both 1908 and 1912. There was an attempt made by FIFA to organize an international football tournament between nations outside of the Olympic framework in 1906, and this took place in Switzerland. These were very early days for international football, and the official history of FIFA describes the competition as having been a failure. 10. With the Olympic event continuing to be contested only between amateur teams, competitions involving professional teams also started to appear. The Torneo Internazionale Stampa Sportiva, held in Turin in 1908, was one of the first, and the following year, Sir Thomas Lipton organized the Sir Thomas Lipton Trophy, also held in Turin. Both tournaments were contested between individual clubs, not national teams, each one of which represented an entire nation. For this reason, neither was really a direct forerunner of the World Cup, but notwithstanding that, the Thomas Lipton Trophy is sometimes described as the first World Cup. 11, at the expense of its less well-known Italian predecessor. In 1914, FIFA agreed to recognize the Olympic tournament as a World Football Championship for amateurs. 12, and took responsibility for organizing the event. This led the way for the world's first intercontinental football competition, at the 1920 Summer Olympics, won by Belgium. 13, Uruguay won the tournaments in 1924 and 1928. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro, born February 5, 1985, better known as Cristiano Ronaldo, is a Portuguese professional footballer who plays as a forward. He is the captain of the Portuguese national team, and he is currently a free agent. He is considered to be one of the greatest footballers of all time, and, by some, as the greatest ever. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Ronaldo began his professional career with Sporting CP at age 17 in 2002, and signed for Manchester United a year later. He won the FA Cup in his first season, and then won 3 back-to-back Premier League titles, in 2006-07, 2007-08, and 2008-09. In 2007-08, Ronaldo helped United win the UEFA Champions League. In 2008-09, he won his first FIFA Club World Cup in December 2008, and he also won his first Ballon d'Or. At one point, Ronaldo was the most expensive professional footballer of all time, after moving from Manchester United to Real Madrid for approximately £80 million in July 2009. He won his first trophy with Real Madrid in 2011, the 2010-11 Copa del Rey. In the next season, he won his first La Liga title with the club, the 2011-12 La Liga. In the 2012-13 season, he won the Supercopa de España. In the next season, the 2013-14 season, he won his second Ballon d'Or. Then he won the Copa del Rey, and he also won his second Champions League with a record 17 goals. The following year, Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or again, along with his second FIFA Club World Cup in December 2014. In 2016, Ronaldo won his third Champions League, and scored the winning penalty in the final against Atletico Madrid. He won his fourth Ballon d'Or the next season, his second La Liga title for the first time in 5 years, another Champions League, and his second Club World Cup. Ronaldo's last season with Real Madrid was the 2017-18 season, where he won his fifth Ballon d'Or in 2017, and also won his fifth Champions League and scored 2 goals in the final against Juventus. With his third consecutive Champions League, he became the first player to win the UEFA Champions League 5 times. 18. He would later go on to transfer to Juventus in July 2018. Ronaldo left the club by holding the record for being the top goal scorer in Real Madrid's history, and remaining as the only player in La Liga's history to score 30 or more goals in 6 consecutive seasons. 19. Ronaldo began his career with Portugal at age 18. He scored his first goal at UEFA Euro 2004 and helped Portugal reach the final, although they lost to Greece 1-0. The first World Cup he played at was the 2006 FIFA World Cup. He scored a goal and helped Portugal earn 4th place. 2 years later, he became Portugal's full captain. Since then, he has appeared at 3 Euros, 2008, 2012, and 2016, and 2 World Cups, 2014 and 2018. He helped Portugal win their first major international trophy at Euro 2016, and their second 3 years later with the UEFA Nations League. He currently plays for Manchester United and his shirt number is 7. He is now considered the greatest of all time with the most goals of 800 plus in his all-time of career. Lionel Messi. Lionel Andres Leo Messi Casadini, Spanish pronunciation, Lionel Andres Messi, born June 24, 1987, is an Argentine footballer. 3. He plays for Ligue 1 club Paris Saint-Germain and the Argentina national team as a forward. Many experts and critics consider Messi as one of the greatest football players of all time. 4. Some people even say he is the greatest player ever. Messi has 7 Ballon d'Or awards, the most of any player, and 2 more than Cristiano Ronaldo. 5. 6. His playing style and skills are very similar to the Argentine legend Diego Maradona because of their short height. There is much competition between him and Portuguese footballer Cristiano Ronaldo because of their similar skill levels. Early life. Messi was born and raised in Rosario, Argentina. Messi is the third of 4 children of Jorge Messi and his wife Celia Casatini. He has 2 brothers named Rodrigo and Mashes and 2 cousins named Maximiliano and Emmanuel. Messi's grandmother died when he was 12, and after that he generally celebrates his goals by pointing up in the sky in tribute of his grandmother.